Hi, fans of high quality entertainment. I'm going to talk about the Beatles. I apologize. I will be, doing other bands like I always do, but it's been an exciting time for us Beatles fans. And one of the things that, I guess one of the negatives about the new remixes for the Red and the Blue, there's been a couple, Old Brown Shoe, some fans aren't happy with. But the one that really has stood out for me, for positive and negative, is the new remix of I Am the Walrus. I happen to love the new remix. On the very first listen, with headphones, that's the way I listen to music. Because I'd read some negative things, I was expecting not to like it. And if I didn't like it, I'd say so. But I loved it. So in my community just this morning, I put up this poll. Do you like the 2023 remix of I Am the Walrus? Because I've seen, like I said, good and negative comments on it. And I had a link so anybody that hadn't listened to it could listen to it. And so with 85 votes so far, and the poll is still there in my community, 60% said yes. And 40% said no. So still, 4 out of 10 people aren't happy with the remix. That's still kind of high. I realize that. But it's at least nice to know that more than half so far, just from this little poll, like the new remix, like I do. And so I've gathered up some comments from the Steve Hoffman forum, from my community, thank you, and also from the actual song, the remix that's on YouTube. And so I'm going to read some, and, like I said, these are good comments and not so good comments about the remix. Galaga King from the Steve Hoffman forum, they really effed up the fade out of I Am the Walrus. Yeah, most people that are complaining, I think it's mainly to do with the second half of the song. Drowned out the radio broadcast of King Lear with noise. Great job. And D. Bacon, well, I'm actually kind of enjoying the new mix of I Am the Walrus. The ending is shocking to my ears, having listened to the standard version for over half a century, but it's a fun alternative version. I'm glad it exists. Baroque Hoedown 33. Why do we not have proper stereo for Revolution? Yeah, they're complaining about something else. There's little done in the... See, I realize it's not just I Am the Walrus. I think for almost any of the remixes, there's somebody out there that's going to complain about not being happy with the remix. Macafan. For the most part, I like the new 2023 mixes. I still think they didn't bring McCartney's bass up enough in the mixes. Leo Kim Video. I can hear so much more going on in this timeless John Lennon song now. It's as if the song has had a rebirth. So that's, of course, back to I Am the Walrus. Lorendi Giori. I am absolutely blown away by this remix. Wow. Richard Jacob 7632. I think this mix sounds good to me. Good balance, bass drum, maybe a little boomy through my buds. Jack's the name. What's the point? Adding subtracting bass, treble, or adding reverb. Beatles fans are being taken for monks. Sit you down, father. Rest you. Yeah, King Lear. Groover McTuber, I like that name, 4508. The end is so much better. J star star 00. The Shakespeare dialogue in the original version is mixed down to near inaudibility. I wonder if all these years later they finally got a copyright claim by the BBC. MS P-Boy. The reason I don't like the ending on this new mix is that the original chord progression is like an optical illusion. Like, for instance, the M.C. Escher stairs painting, in which the stairs appeared to be forever going up and up. The strings and everything else in the original ending have the illusion of climbing up and up until the very end of the song. In this new mix, the feeling for me is lost. As soon as the music starts fading out, the sound effects completely take over. The feeling that the original outro gave me, for me, is more important than the sound effects. So for me, that feeling is lost too soon. It's apparent they chose to highlight the sound clips over the music. I wish someone would do a remix with the strings and music back in a little more along with the new sound effects clips, since I do like the rest of the new mix. Raymond Dalmer 2222. This is crap. Tell it like it is. Listen to the mono or love remix. So, I've tried to find good and bad comments about I Am the Walrus. Name. I don't think Giles listens to the original recordings first. He just jumps in and mixes it blindly. Tommy Za 07038. Wonderful. Nice to see Giles being bold on this track. We already have the original. I say go for it, Giles. Giancarlo Sanchegio 5385. Dude, this mix took me on the trip. What in the world? The greatest band in the world, nothing less. Shad Shoadrandna. Some of these usernames. I don't like the muddiness in the sound during the second half, where it usually goes into fake stereo, but I do like the louder radio tuning sounds near the end. Rather than just fading out, it sounds like the whole track is being tuned out. Jamie King 158. Hi, Jamie. I love it. Janet Sampson, better known as Bob. Everything the Beatles do is great, Larry, but I prefer the original recording of I Am the Walrus. The ending seemed strange, and John's voice was a little whinier, if that makes sense. Like I said, it was still great, but I prefer the original. Thank you, Bob. Matt Coffidis 1135. Finally had a proper listen. I think I like the first half better than the latter half. The issue, in my opinion, is there's so much going on. To represent everything is damn near impossible. My main issue is, once again, George's guitar is once again buried in the mix. But hey, maybe that was John's original intention with not only the lyrics, but also the mix of everything else in it. It literally sounds like an actual nightmare towards the end, with the rising and falling of the melodic lines. John's voice was recorded through a mic run through a guitar amp, hence the distortion. It sounds less distorted in this mix. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, LOL. And then Lee Sana, hello Lee, 7835. It's absolutely magnificent. That's what I say. Yeah, so it's just, first of all, it's just, this band. We're talking about this band 60 years later. And they have a #1 song in England, and it's in the top 10 in the States. And, I know some Beatles fans. I know that me, Mr. Mayo, doesn't care for this mix. It's totally fine. I get it. I love the mix. We all have our own opinions. And the main thing for me is what one person says doesn't matter. It's what you think. If you think this remix sucks, then it sucks. If you think this is a great remix like I do, then it's a great remix. That's the way I look at it. I think it's silly to argue over somebody else's opinion. I'm not going to get into an argument with mean Mr. Mayo because he's mean. No, I respect his opinion. I do. And and then there's Old Brown Shoe, which I totally get too. That remix is different. But it's just fun. It is fun to talk about the Beatles in 2023. And overall, I think all of us, or most of us Beatles fans, are very happy with overall with the remixes that Giles Martin has done. And you also have to realize that, Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr had to okay these remixes. And these remixes have really brought out Ringo's drumming. Just what a great drummer he is. George Harrison, of course, which I didn't mention in my other video, and then somebody was kind of saying, nobody talks about George. Of course, George is great. And John. And Paul. The vocals, everything. The Beatles are the best. And it's just fun to, talk about the Beatles. And, not everybody's going to be happy. I realize that, but I'm happy. So I'd love more thoughts on, not just I'm the Walrus, but the remixes. What else are you happy with or not happy with? And I'm hoping I would actually like to get together with like Beatley Tony and me, Mr. Mayo, maybe set something up on my channel in a week or two and just go over. I'm all excited. And just go over the red and the blue albums and, without getting into a fist fight. And be fun to do. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.